Hi, I'm Chess Grandmaster Maurice Ashley. April has arrived and spring is in the air. As the chess world gears up for the candidates tournaments, we have assembled a great show for you today. Collegiate chess, the American Cup, the amazing career of Fabiano Caruana, and much more coming up right now on Today in Chess.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another edition of Today in Chess. I'm your host, Sharon Carpenter. As Maurice mentioned, we have a great show in store for you. We'll hear from the #2 chess player in the world. We'll visit with the University of Missouri's chess coach. We have lessons from the Masters and so much more. But first, the American Cup. This double elimination tournament that's consistently gained popularity was just completed, and what a competition it was, featuring a group of established chess stars. But once again, a young chess prodigy rose to the top.
The 2024 American Cup was an event that no one will soon forget. Two stacked fields competed in a double elimination knockout tournament to see who would become the next American Cup champion. Fabiano Caruana headlined the open section and started off strong with a convincing win over Grigorio Perrin, only to fall to Levon Aronian in a blitz playoff in the following match, resulting in being relegated to the elimination bracket. Looking to be the first player to come back and win it all, he knocked out veteran Lenier Dominguez and moved on to face the #2 seed Wesley So, where again in a blitz playoff would be eliminated from the event. So went on to defeat Ray Robson for a chance to face off again Champions Bracket winner Levon Aronian in the grand final. After quick draws in the first 3 games, Levon Aronian found an advantage with the black pieces and never looked back, claiming his first American Cup title. The women's section was nothing short of upsets and exciting matches, where Zoe Tang started off her American Cup with a win over 2-time champion and top-seeded Irina Krush, only to fall in the next 2 games to lose the match and be moved to the elimination bracket. 3rd seed Alice Lee racked up wins over Tatev Abrahamian and Begum Tokarjanova to meet Irina Krush in the Champions Bracket final for the 3rd year in a row. Irina would get the best of her yet again, sending Alice to the elimination bracket to fight her way back to the grand final. Alice Lee did just that, with a dominating 3-1 match win over Tokarjanova for the 2nd time in the event. After 2 years of finishing in 2nd place and watching Irina Krush claim the title, Alice Lee shocked everyone and beat Irina Krush to force a rapid grand final match. It took all 4 rapid games and a blitz playoff, but Alice Lee finally dethroned the 2-time champion, claiming her 2nd major tournament victory. Champions were crowned and young stars made their mark. The American Cup is quickly becoming a tournament both players and fans won't want to miss.
Alice Lee, what an amazing talent. Can you imagine being just 14 years old and sitting across the table from 8-time US women's champ Irina Krush and then winning? That was an incredible victory for Alice and a great match for any chess fan. Besides double elimination, the American Cup features a variety of time controls. Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan will take us through the development of timepieces that are an integral part of any chess match.
Hello everyone. Today I'm going to talk about the 3 chess time controls. When you think about chess, you think about 2 players engaging in battle, but what you have to do is regulate the movements of the players. You don't want a player just to sit there forever. No, so we have what we call classical chess. Classical chess are what the top professionals of the game play. And essentially it's 2 minutes to 90 seconds per move per player. So it's something like 40 moves in 2 hours. Then we have rapid chess, which is far faster. That's a game of chess where you have 30 minutes per player for all of the moves. And then the most popular form of chess is blitz chess. That's 5 minutes chess. You get 5 minutes, I get 5 minutes, and towards the end of the game, boy, those players are hitting the clock madly. What do I mean by the chess clock? I refer to this device on the right side of the table. When it's my opponent to move, my opponent will make a move, press their clock, my clock starts ticking, I make a move, I press my clock. Sometimes it's a game of seconds. And here in St. Louis, we have seen some of America's Cup go down to 1 second.
How do you feel about the new format of this event with 2 time controls being played in the same day?
Well, I think it's fun. I think Tony is always thinking to spice it up and to make it interesting. I generally love this tournament because the double knockout is a really good idea, and I think a lot of tournaments just understood how good it is, and they started employing it everywhere. So it's exciting.
I mean, okay, so I wasn't here before, so I can't say anything. But I mean, I feel like more games will be better. Also, I feel like Rapid will be more exciting, so.
I'm not sure. I think it's interesting. We'll see how it goes. Because definitely it's more games than the 2 classical game match, and I think that makes it more interesting because more chances for like comebacks, and also there's just more games, so more chess in general. I'm not sure whether I like the 2 classical games or this format more, because I think I did pretty well with the classical games, but I think this one is definitely very exciting, and I'm excited to try it out.
I think it's fine, it's interesting. We won't know until we see it happen, but I've sort of always thought that classical chess is a bit too slow, which I think a lot of other people share that sentiment, but I think the solution is not to chop it all the way down to rapid chess, and I very much like the idea of having somewhat faster classical chess, and I think this will be fantastic.
I actually really like the format. I've never seen it where it's like classical and rapid on the same day, especially. Like not even just myself having played, but just seeing any tournament like that. And I think it's really interesting. I'm a little bit worried that like I won't be able to like, concentrate in the second game because I'll be like already thinking about the first game, or I'll be like tired or something. But I think it definitely makes it more exciting, and yeah, I think it's a good format.
I think American Cup is my favorite event because of its exciting formats, and I like that we have 4 matches against each player now, so in case you have one bad day, you'll have still plenty of games to recover.
Well, this is a very big change in the format, I would say. It's actually very hard to say how it's going to go. I mean, of course, it's a more challenging format, and it's a lot about your stamina. I mean, I think it's just a very different challenge, right? It's gonna, challenge of preparation, that you have to prepare for 2 games a day, that you have to basically start your rapid game quite soon after your classical game. So I've never done anything like this before, but I am up for the challenge.
Professional chess players work hard to understand their opponents and study their moves and strategies, and for good reason. Each month, Today in Chess features a lesson from the experts. It's time for Chess School and your chance to learn from the masters.
Hi everyone, in this lesson I'm going to show you the few things that king cannot do. In one of the previous lessons I showed you how the king moves, and again, king can move any direction 1 square. But in this position, if you take a look carefully, for example, you cannot play the move king f1 because black has a rook on f file and the rook is covering the f1 square, so you cannot walk into a check. Same example is here. If you try to move the king to d2 here, now there is another rook on d8. You cannot do that. That would be an illegal move. Another idea is if you're thinking, oh, maybe I can escape the danger by castling to the queen side, that's again, you cannot do that because the rook on d8 is covering the d file. You cannot jump through the d file in order to castle. So the castling also is not going to be a possible move in this position. So another idea is if let's say the rook is on e8 is giving you a check, you cannot castle when you're under a check. You need to block the check or move your king away or capture the piece that checked you, but you certainly cannot castle when you're under a check. So it's very important to know which moves you can play with the king, and if the squares are under control by your opponent, you cannot move your king into an attack. So these are the few things you cannot do with your king, And very important to remember, you can't castle when you're under check, and you cannot move into a square when opponent pieces are covering it. So hope you enjoyed this lesson. See you next time.
Maurice Ashley is a well-known American chess player, author and commentator. 25 years ago, he became the first Black Grandmaster in history. Maurice has been doing commentary for major tournaments around the world and was, for a long time, a permanent member of the shows that we do here in St. Louis. And guess what? Maurice is with us right now. Maurice Ashley, the one and only.
Thanks so much for having me, Sharon.
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Wonderful to be back in St. Louis. You said a permanent member. I guess not. Things have changed.
Well, up until you left. Exactly. Well, you have tons going on. We're going to ask you all about it. But first, let's talk about, the first few months of this year in chess. It's been, a lot of excitement happening. How would you describe the year 2024 in chess right now, where we are right now?
I think it's absolutely explosive. It used to be back in the day, you would have a few tournaments a year, especially top events. You'd be waiting, looking forward to these events. But now it seems like it's happening every single week. The top players are really an embarrassment of riches right now. It's events to play in. They're traveling from country to country. They're able to play online as well. So it's an absolutely brand new age for the world of chess.
You actually discovered your love of chess while you were in Jamaica as a young kid. You moved to America when you were 12, but how old were you when you first discovered chess? And was chess something big in your neighborhood growing up in Jamaica?
Chess was not that big. I was hanging out with my older brother and his friends. They were playing chess. I decided to play along. I liked the game, but I didn't fall in love until Brooklyn Technical High School, where I went. I was a sophomore. I saw a friend of mine, a classmate, playing chess. I knew I was a smart kid, won a lot of games, so I decided I would crush him. Turns out he crushed me. Fortunately, there was a book in the library. I didn't go looking for it. It just seemed to just jump off the bookshelf. I checked it out, read the whole book, went to play my friend. He crushed me again. Turns out he had read that book and a bunch of other books, but that started the love affair. From there, I was reading like crazy, and eventually I did beat my friend.
Yeah. And then becoming the first Black Grandmaster in history, that's huge. How did that impact your life, and how do you think that impacted chess?
It changed my life, certainly. I mean, it was a lifelong goal of mine to become a Grandmaster ever since those days back at Brooklyn Tech. And I got a lot more recognition and a lot more opportunities from it, frankly. In terms of the broader world of chess, it's been 25 years since I became a Grandmaster, and there hasn't been another African American who has accomplished the same feat. So for me, I think that's a little bit depressing, quite frankly. And from a legacy standpoint, I'd like to see more change. So I'm pushing now with young people who are talented, identifying some talented ones, even coaching one right now and plan to coach more, so that there can be more players representing this diverse coalition of chess players all around the world.
Maurice Ashley, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And congrats on everything.
Thank you.
Wesley So is almost always smiling, but the same can't be said for his opponents. Before transferring to the U.S. Chess Federation in 2014, he was already a three-time Philippine chess champion. But after the change in scenery, he quickly ascended to the ranks of the world's elite grandmasters. The two-time Grand Chess Tour champion reached new heights in 2017, climbing to number 2 in the world. He followed up this monumental achievement by becoming a world champion candidate in 2018 and the inaugural Fisher Random World Champion in 2019. Whether So pursues more world championship titles or just continues enjoying and playing chess, he will not only go down as arguably one of the best players in U.S. history, but one of the best players to ever play the game.
College chess has become a recognized sport in many major schools. With scholarships and international competitions, young college players are now competing as part of their curriculum. Cristian Chirilă is a grandmaster born in Romania who now calls Columbia, Missouri home. He's a great ambassador for the game of chess and also the head coach of the chess team at the University of Missouri.
I'm Cristian Chirilă, and I'm the head coach and director of the chess program at the University of Missouri. We've had some success throughout the years. We are national champions right now, actually. We just won at the beginning of 2024, in January, we won the Pan American Championships. That's the most prestigious collegiate event in chess, and this was the first time that we won it. In terms of level, college chess is up there. We have professional chess players, in fact, coming and competing for their respective colleges, but at the same time, they also want to continue their career as chess professionals. These kids, they are 18, 19, whenever they come to college. They've been playing professional chess for a while now. You can definitely get a scholarship for chess, and in fact, I've done that myself when I moved here from Romania to the US more than a decade ago. I came here to the United States on a chess scholarship, and a lot of our players are getting a full ride scholarship. Recruitment is a big part of my job, and we don't have as many spots. It's very competitive. We don't have 80 scholarships to give away. We only have between 8 and 10 scholarships to give away. We are definitely at a moment in time where some rivalries are brewing up. And of course, within the state of Missouri, we have some very strong programs. One of them is Webster, the other one is SLU, St. Louis University, and there's also some very strong colleges in Texas as well. I wouldn't say we're necessarily rivals, but we do get to compete against each other on a regular basis, yes. There are some expectations. You have to meet a certain grade point average, GPA, quite high in that regard to maintain your scholarship, but you also need to practice, to come to training. We have training sessions in the chess room with the whole team. It's a great environment. Players are helping each other. We also have this chess team facility, which is open to our players. They can come in 24/7. They can do their homework in the chess team. It's a great facility to have. It's a great environment to be in if you are looking to grow as an athlete, grow as a student as well. It's very important to use those crucial years between 18 to 20-something to put yourself on the right path. If you are a motivated chess player, a motivated student as well, and you want to continue growing your expertise and getting a degree globally recognized, you should definitely consider coming to Mizzou and joining the chess program.
Hi everyone! In this lesson, we're gonna learn how to checkmate with the queen and bishop. In this position, black is material up. However, it's our move and we're gonna use it wisely. In this position, we're gonna take queen c7 check. And black cannot take the queen because our bishop on e5 protecting the queen. Therefore, black has to play king a7 or king a8. They have only 2 squares to go. They cannot go to c8 because queen is protecting the c8 square as well. Therefore, let's move to king to a7. Here, we have checkmate in one move, which is queen a5. This is a checkmate because a king cannot go back to b8. Our e5 bishop is still covering the b8 square. Therefore, this position is checkmate.
2024 is the year of the Candidates Tournament. The winner will go on to play for the World Championship next year. And for the first time ever, both men and women will play at the same time and the same place, Toronto, Canada. We also have an incredible slate of tournaments throughout the year. The Grand Chess Tour kicks off its 2024 campaign soon. Here's a preview of what's to come.
one of the richest and highest-rated chess tours in the world, starts its 9th season in May. A collaboration of the St. Louis Chess Club and chess icon Garry Kasparov, the Grand Chess Tour brings together the best players in the world in a challenging 5-stop tour with top prize money over $1.5 million for this year. The defending champion is number 2 in the world, Grandmaster Fabiano Caruana, who finished the tour last year with wins at the St. Louis's Singfield Cup and St. Louis Rapid and Blitz events. The excitement of the Grand Chess Tour stems not just from the elite list of players and the amazing prize money, but also from the combination of classical and Rapid and Blitz events. And for the first time, the GCT will start with a Rapid and Blitz event, the Superbet Rapid and Blitz from Warsaw, Poland. The schedule is rounded out with 2 more Rapid and Blitz stops and 2 classical events, including the Singfield Cup in St. Louis at the end of August. It truly is a world tour. There are 9 players chosen as full tour participants, which this year includes the world's very best. Starting with Fabi, the list includes GM Jan Nepomniachtchi, ranked number 7 in the world, young phenom GM Ramesh Babu Pragnananda, the youngest tour participant, and St. Louis's own GM Wesley So, who won the tour in 2021. Besides these 9 great players, there are wildcards added each year. Wildcards drop into the tournament stops to fill out the field. In the past, they've included none other than many-time world champion Magnus Carlsen and India's great chess hero, Vishwanathan Anand. You'll be able to watch all the action on the live Grand Chess Tour stream, with commentary originating from our St. Louis studios. The Grand Chess Tour, simply the best in chess.
Fabi, it's great to have you here. We're here in St. Louis, the city you call home, and also the capital of chess here in America. What would you say is your biggest challenge to winning the Candidates tournament? You've done it before, 2018. What's your biggest challenge this time around, do you think?
I think that, you have a challenge from all the players because they're all very tenacious, and they all want to do their best to win. They're working very hard towards this goal. For many players, they'll look at it as like a once in a lifetime goal to win the Kansas, to potentially become world champion. But I think the bigger struggle is always a personal one, because if you bring your best chess, there is a chance, of course, that it won't be enough. You could do your best, and you could even have a great tournament, and just someone is a tiny step ahead of you. But more often than not, if you bring your best, then you do have a very good chance of succeeding. So I think, if I think back on like what went wrong in the past, it wasn't that my opponents were too far ahead that I couldn't catch them. It was that I did something a little bit wrong in my own play.
What do you think you learned from the first time around in 2018 and then challenging Magnus? You've been through this before. Do you feel like going through this process at this point in time, you're sort of more prepared for it? Did you learn something from the first time around in 2018 that has you even more ready this time around?
I think that I did learn things from every time I played the Candidates, and even from the time that I won. But for example, last time I was, let's say, my most experienced up to that point, and it was maybe my biggest disappointment. And the first time I played the Candidates was 2 years before I won it. In 2016 was my first Candidates, and I was basically a hair away from winning, even without the experience and without good preparation. Because sometimes it's also good to have that like optimism and freshness, and not everything works out perfectly, but not everything has to work out perfectly. Like again, as I mentioned, I think it's also a very personal thing. So even if some circumstances are going against you, let's say health, for example, I was sick during the first half of 2016, and maybe preparation isn't perfect and you don't have all the experience in the world, but it's very much like putting your best out there and fighting till the very end, and all those other things are just as important. And that's what I didn't do well last time. I didn't fight my best, and I got too emotional. I ended up failing at the critical moment. So hopefully this time I can improve on that.
Well, congratulations on everything that you've achieved so far, and we're very excited to see what 2024 has in store for you, and we'll be watching every step of the way, that's for sure.
Thank you, Sharon.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us.
Nazi Paikidze is an international master and women's grandmaster from the Eastern European country of Georgia. She grew into a determined competitor, honing her skills playing tournaments across Europe, representing her age group as a 4-time European youth champion and a 2-time world youth champion. Paikidze transferred to the American Chess Federation in 2014. Nazi immediately showed that she belonged, taking second place in her first ever U.S. Women's Championship appearance. The following year in 2016, she won it all, repeating the feat again in 2018 to become a 2-time U.S. Women's Champion. Nazi's playing days are far from over as she continues competing in elite events like the 2024 American Cup and continues to blaze new paths and inspire future generations of American women.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Today in Chess, featuring some of the best of chess from all over the world. There are so many opportunities for you to get involved, and we hope you do. Thanks for watching, and see you next time on Today in Chess.
This has been a presentation of the St. Louis Chess Club. Any reproduction or distribution of this content without the express written consent of the St. Louis Chess Club is prohibited.